Rajsekhar sir, am I audible to you? Dr. Rohit Raja from MBA department.
Yes, sir, audible, sir.
Okay, sir. So we'll start the session taking your consent, sir. So as of now,
Yes, sir.
53 students have joined, sir.
Sir.
So very good afternoon to all present here, especially the students. Now, today's session is concerned students. Placement training, it plays a very major role in shaping up the career goals of the students. And even it is the dream of every student to get placed in the top multinational organization. But on the other side, training of students and equipping them with the life skills, it is very much challenging and it has become an important responsibility of the institution. So here, the placement coordinator, Professor Ravi Prakash sir, has planned, every day a lot of topics. So the overall personality development will be taken care of the student. The soft skills and aptitude training will be taken care. Then the group discussions. Then very important students, your resume and cover letter writing. Even that part is also taken care from the training and placement coordinator. And finally, how to crack the interviews. That is very important. So we have even organized the mock personal interviews for all the students. So this is how what we have planned for the present, the training and placement, the training is concerned. So on behalf of all the students, I welcome, the resource person for today's, the first session is concerned. So I request our training and placement coordinator, Professor Ravi Prakash sir, to kindly introduce the today's resource person to all the students. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon,
Sir.
Rajsekhar, sir. Today's guest for us who is taking the class is Professor Rajsekhar Marglihad. Sir is presently working as the HOD for Civil Department, Jain College of Engineering. Sir has completed his BE from Basveshwar Engineering College, Bagalkot from the year 2011. Sir has finished his MTech from NIT Bhopal. Sir is having an experience of 7 years in teaching and also has 5 years of teaching students who are willing to go for competitive exams. Sir has cracked 3 exams, government exams, 2 KPSC and 1 central government exam. Sir, we welcome you, sir, and I am handing over the mic to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Rajsekhar sir, before you start, on behalf
Yes.
of the entire department faculty members and all the students of the MBA department, sir, we heartily
sir.
welcome you for this, the first session of the training and placement, what we are organizing for MBA students. And
Yes, sir.
students, we have a very, very bright resource person today who will be addressing to all of you. As Ravi sir mentioned, he has cracked KPSC exams. He has cracked even some of the UPSC exams also. So it's an opportunity for all the students to listen to such a bright resource person and get the beautiful inputs what he'll be giving to all of us. I hope the session will be very beneficial to all the students. Over to you, Rajsekhar sir.
Thank you, sir. Students, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Now I shared one PPT, that whiteboard. I think if you see that one, just a minute. Can you see the white board? That white slide?
No, sir.
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, okay.
Sir, now it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll start. Dear students, as this is the first class of aptitude, just I would like to give that introduction about this aptitude in a 2 or 3 minutes, and after that you can have a brief glance about this aptitude, and after that the topics which are assigned to me, that I will explain in detail. Okay. In most of all the engineering this government exams or even private organizations, first they will check your general aptitude skills. See, they never bother about how much excellent you are in your MBA or otherwise in your particular stream. For example, in technical field also, they never see how much that expert he is in a particular subject. First test will be general aptitude test, and after that they will ask you for the technical test or otherwise your stream, and that they will check. Why this general aptitude is given that much importance? First, we need to understand that. For that, the reason is before 10th, what you study. Before 10th, I am telling. Okay. Before 10th, whatever the maths you study, whatever the science it is there, that all the things can you able to apply in a practical life. Okay. In a day-to-day life, there will be some problems. For example, one milkmaid, and he mixes some amount of water and some amount of milk, and after that he sell that one. Then whether he is profitable or not, if he is cheating, how much percent he is cheating, these all questions are every day to day in life we are going to deal with that. Or otherwise, for example, one work is assigned to some person, and whether if he is able to do it within this much of time, then the same work is assigned to someone, and if together if they are doing, then how much time they will take. Or otherwise some number system also. Okay, these all the things they are before 10th only. Whatever the mathematics you study, that all put together, it is called as numerical aptitude. In this numerical aptitude, just think here, this plus, minus, into, and this divisibility. This 4 signs only, how to use these 4 signs, that is your numerical aptitude. That's it. Numerical aptitude. There are still many signs are there in mathematics. Log is there, exponential is there, sine, cos, trigonometry is there, integration, differentiation is there. But don't worry about them. Just how to use this plus, where to use this plus, and how excellently we need to use this minus, how excellently we need to multiply and divide. These all 4 signs, if you are able to, if you are master about these 4 signs, then your numerical aptitude will be very much easy. Okay, now just I considered here some of the points, and in future classes I think that is organized to cover these topics, and few of them are very easy, therefore may not be given a light on that one. Just in roughly we have these many topics in aptitude. When it comes to the aptitude, number system, value of numbers, test for divisibility, algebraic formula, quadratic equation, progression, factorization, LCM, HCF, puzzle, number puzzles, ages, problems on ages, percentage discounts, profit loss, ratios and proportions, speed, time, distance, blood relations, syllogism, averages, partnership, time and work, pipe and cisterns, streams and boats, mixtures and allegations, logarithms, simple interest, compound interest, then area and volumes, height and distance, lines and angles, distance and direction, cubes and surfaces, coordinate geometry, direct and inverse variations, simplification, simultaneous equations, square root and cube roots, surds and indices, number series, magic maths, calendar, clocks, tables, bar charts, pie charts, then line graphs, permutation combination, probability, Venn diagram, sitting arrangements, root words, synonyms, antonyms, analogy, sentence completion, wrong identification. Many are there like this. Okay, as I come across these 54 topics, and just these are just names, and this is called as a general aptitude. In this general aptitude, few topics are such that just your intuition or otherwise your ability to handle the problem or understanding the problem, that is enough to solve the problems. But numerical aptitude is not like that. Numerical aptitude, there are some steps, there are some procedures for a particular chapter, that if you follow them, then only you can crack that very easily. And some notations will be there, some names will be given to some series and all, some formulas will be there. Therefore numerical aptitude, for that some guidance is required. Okay, this numerical aptitude guidance, then reasoning is there, verbal is there, and English proficiency is there. For all of them, just if you have some talent or otherwise common sense, just I can say not a talent, just a common sense, if you have, that is enough for that preparation of reasoning and other things. Then in the numerical this aptitude, for me a topic is given here is, I will discuss, because it is the first class, no? Therefore, I will discuss about number systems. Number systems. Okay. Meanwhile, I will give us a small 2 to 3 minutes break. There you can ask whatever the questions you have, or otherwise, meanwhile, if you get any questions, you just put in the comment box so that I will see while explaining, and correspondingly, I will explain that I will solve your doubts also. Okay, I can see both doubts and this slide page together. Okay, now number system we will study, and after that divisibility and all that we will go ahead and we'll study. Here, you know, numbers are there. We already deal with them. 1 is a number, 2 is a number, 20 is a number, 45 is a number, 78 is a number. Okay, like that there are many numbers are there. 1786 is a number. 1,54,785 is a number. These all are numbers. First, we will give these all numbers, we will group them and we will call them as a natural numbers. Natural numbers. Natural numbers means naturally the meaning can be existable. 1 means what? This is 1. Just 1 laddu is there, means this is a 1 laddu. 3 bananas are there, means 3. 3, I can see that 3 bananas. Okay, these are natural numbers. Therefore, natural number is from 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. You can write it till infinity. But infinity is a what? It is just imagination, that infinity. There is no such numbers infinity called. But you can go up to that, means there is no end. Therefore, natural number is always starts with the 1 and goes on. Okay, and there should be integers here. It should not be like a 3.5. The meaning of 3.5 is not natural. 3.5 is not natural, but 3 is a natural and 4 is a natural. Therefore, we will call them as a 3 and 4 are a natural number. Okay, therefore, just think, remember here, from starting 1 until infinity, if all the integers what you write here, they are called as natural numbers. Okay, this natural numbers you can denote it like n is equal to 1 bracket you put here 1, 2, 3 dash 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 dash. Okay, this is first system of number. And the second one is a whole number. This whole number means it is also something like a natural number only, but here the 0 is included. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that it goes. Okay, this is whole number. You can denote it as a W, whole number. Okay, here 0, it starts from 0. Okay, and their natural number is starts from 1. Then what is the relation between whole number and natural number? Natural number is subset of whole number. If this is a big ground and this ground represents a whole number, the natural number is here. In the natural number, 1, 2, 3, like that, it is infinite is there, but 0 is here. Then see, in the big ground, we got all. Therefore, whole number is a bigger set, and this natural number is a subset of whole number. Okay, now next we will go to the integers. This you already know. Integers means here one very important thing is this 0 is also integer, and 1, 2, 3, 4. These all are called as positive integers, and -1, -2, and -3. These are called as negative integers. This negative integer can go up to minus infinity, and positive integer can go up to plus infinity. This is called as a set of integers. Set of integers. Now just concentrate here. If I put a flower bracket from here to here, this is your whole number. And if I put a flower bracket from here to here, then this is your natural number. Then from here to here, this is your integers. Means if I draw the Venn diagram for this, what happens? Then this is a whole number, 0 is there, inside a natural number, and integer is bigger than the whole number because negatives also there here, negative numbers also there. Okay, now then after that, in this one, till now whatever we studied, that natural number, whole number, and integer, that commonly we can divide into two types, that is the odd number and even number. This you already very familiar with that one. If the odd number means what? One ending with a 1, 3, 5, 7, okay, and 9. Okay, ending with means if any number is there 1979, then this number is ending with a 9, therefore this is an odd number. Okay, this I am giving you one simple definition. It's not a perfect mathematical definition. Mathematical definition is different. Okay, if the number at the last, if it is 1, 3, 5, 7, any one of these, then that number is called as odd number. Then what is the mathematical definition for odd and integer, odd and even? Mathematical definition for odd and even is, if the number is divisible by 2, completely divisible by 2, then that is even. If the number is not completely not divisible by 2, okay, that is odd. Okay, now therefore this to check whether it is even or odd by mathematical formula, then we should know this divisibility and all. Therefore you just remember for the basic elementary level, the odd number and even number can be classified as, if the last digit is 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, then that is the even and odd. No need to put a lot of light on this one, just this definition is enough. Next comes a rational number. Rational number. See here, I discussed about 1, 2, 3, 4 till infinity, and I included even 0 to that and called whole number. I included -1, -2, till minus infinity, I called them as integer. Then in that odd and even I discussed. But I forgot to discuss about 3.5. I forgot to discuss about 8 by 5. No? These all numbers are there. No? This number and this number, these are rational numbers. These are rational numbers. Then your question will be like this, sir, whether 2 is a rational number or not? Yes, 2 is also a rational number. Why? You can write it as a 2.0, and 2 you can write it as a 2 by 1. Therefore 2 is also rational number. 2.0 is also a rational number. Simply 2 is also a rational number. 2.5 is also a rational number. Then what all comes in rational number? Everything will come into the rational number. But some limitations are there that I will explain in the later slides. Here you think that natural number, all natural numbers are rational numbers. All whole numbers are rational numbers, and in all integers comes under rational numbers, and all odd and even number comes under rational numbers. And apart from these, all decimals comes under rational number. All fractions comes under rational number. Then what is meaning of decimal? Decimal means if you put a point here and something right here and something right here, that is called as a decimal. 2.0 decimal, 2.58 decimal, 19.95 decimal. These all are called as decimals. Then what is fraction? Fraction is another form of decimal. That is 1 by 2 is a fraction. 5 by 8 is a fraction. 9 by 7 is a fraction. Understood? Therefore, rational number become a very big set now. If I write here, this is a rational number. Then inside the rational number, you got integers. Inside the integers, you got whole number. Inside the whole number, you got natural number. Understood? Okay. Now you come to know that what is the decimal. Decimal means any number. If in between one point is there, then if some number either side, then that is called the decimal. Then the fraction, you also know that fractional number means what? Here I can give a mathematical definition for fractional number. The mathematical definition for a fractional number is, it should be like a numerator and a denominator form. First condition. The first condition, it should be like a numerator and denominator form. The second condition is numerator should be in integer form and denominator should be in integer form. And the third condition is denominator never be equal to 0, should not be equal to 0. Denominator should not be equal to 0. If you are satisfying these three conditions, that number is called as fractional number. Fractions. Say for example, 9 by 7 is a fraction. Why? Because 9 is an integer and 7 is an integer. 7 is not equal to 0. Therefore, this is the fraction. 0 by 5 is a fraction. 0 by 5 is a fraction because 0 is an integer, 5 is an integer, 5 is not equal to 0. Okay, I am not discussing about the numerator. But 8 by 0 is not a fractional number. This is not a fraction. Of course, here numerator denominator are there, but 8 is a numerator and 0 is a denominator, this integer and this is an integer, but the third condition is not satisfying. Okay, third condition is not satisfying. Therefore, this is not rational number. This is not rational number. Sorry, fractional number. This is not fractional number. Right? Then another number comes here, irrational number. Irrational number means what? All that other than rational numbers, what all numbers are there? They are all irrational numbers. See here, all 1 to infinity came, 0 to infinity here are there, minus integers plus integers are there, odd evens are there, decimal numbers are there, fractional numbers are there, all are there here. They are all called as a rational number. Then apart from them, if I skip these all, then whatever the numbers I left with, they are all irrational number. Then what is this example for irrational number? Irrational number example says your root 3. Now you can convert this root 3 means you can put in the calci and after that you can get some value. That value may be here. But initially by looking that root 3 is what? Root 3 is a irrational number. Root 8 by 6. It is a irrational number. Exponential is there. Okay, this is the irrational number. These all are irrational numbers. Okay, therefore that is coming out of the box. This is a rational number and this is irrational number. Then this is called as the entire set. This entire set is called as real numbers. Real numbers. In this big set of real numbers, we got two categories, rational, irrational. In the rational number, we got so many categories. Then if these are all real numbers, then is there any other number other than this opposite to the word real? Yes, that numbers are called as imaginary numbers. Imaginary numbers. If any number consists of imaginary number, then that number is called as complex number. Because it is complex, no, you cannot deal with the imaginary things. Therefore, if any number is there with imaginary, that is a complex number. I will explain here. Real number means what? Whatever the number that exist in real life, they are called as real numbers, and the numbers which really doesn't exist in the real life. For example, you know root 1, that is a 1, but root minus 1 will not exist. This meaning will not exist. Therefore, this is a imaginary number. This is the imaginary number. You can put this root minus 1 in the calci, it will show some error. Okay, this is assumed some number might be there here like this. Then that number we will call it as a I, that is imaginary number. Okay, then that imaginary number, as I said, root minus 1. Then what is a complex number is real number plus imaginary number times this real number times imaginary number. This is called as a complex number. This much deep for aptitude. General aptitude is not required. Just you remember what all the categories are there in the real number, that is enough for competitive exams. Now, I'll give a 2 to 3 minutes. Whatever the doubts, if you have, you can ask, or otherwise you can type in the comment box. Till now what we discussed. In this one, if you have any doubts, You can rise. Do you have any doubts? Then we'll go to the next concept. That is prime numbers, composite number, co-prime numbers, and prime factorization. Okay. Prime numbers, composite number, co-prime numbers, and prime factorization. Right? Before that, I will introduce the two terms here. The first is, what is the meaning of factors? And the second term I will introduce, multiples or multipliers, multiples. Factors and multiples. For example, I have 15 is a number. This 15 is one number. What are the factors of 15 means? 1 is a factor of 15, because in this 15 there are 15 ones are there. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus, how many are there? 15 are there. Therefore, this number 1 is factor of 15. Like that, I have a 3 here. This 3 is also a factor of 15, because 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3, like that 5 times if you do, then you will get a 15. 3 is a factor of 15. Then I have a 5. 5 is a factor of 15, because 5 plus 5 plus 5, 3 times if I do, then I will get a 15. Then like that I have a 15. 15 is also factor, because 15 is a one number and that number is here. Therefore, 15 is also factor. Now, this 15 has 4 factors. 1 is a factor of 15, 3 is a factor of 15, 5 is a factor of 15, 15 is a factor of 15. Can you tell me that what are the factors of 24?
Sir, 2.
1 is also there. You should not forget. 1 is a factor. Next, 2.
4, sir.
4,
Hmm.
6, 8.
6, 8,
Hmm.
12,
Hmm.
24, sir.
24. Here, one number you left.
So 3.
Very good. 3 is there here. Okay, na? 3 is also factor of 24. You got the meaning of factor. Now, what is the meaning of multiples is, if I take a 15, the 15 is a multiple. 15 ones are 15. Then the double of the 15 is what? 30. And the 3 times of the 15 is what? 45. And the 4 times of the 15, 60. These are multiples. Just you see, they are multiplying, no? Therefore, they are multiples of 15. Then multiples list can go up to infinity. These are all multiples of 15. Then like that, here 24 is there. This 24 is the first multiple and the second multiple is a 48. Like that, you double it, or otherwise multiply 1, 2, 3, 4 to that, then it is called as the multiples of 24. These are factors of 24 and this is the multiples of 24. Okay, now what is this prime number I'm going to discuss now? this prime number, this minister is there, no? This prime minister is there, no? Then there also minister, many ministers will be there in that assembly, but prime minister is a one who is a very you will be having a more power with him. I can say that prime minister can listen only what is said in the constitution and what he will get in his mind. Let us think like this. Means he is the boss here in the political democratic country, and therefore prime minister, he will listen whatever it is said in his mind and whatever said in the constitution. Only two things. And let us think that he will not listen anyone in the world, in a country. Therefore it is called as prime. Like that, there are some numbers are there. For example, 7 is a one number, and for this number if I start writing factors, then it has only 1 as a factor and itself as a factor. Then I don't have any factors for this 7. Means by mixing many numbers I cannot get 7. If by mixing 3 I cannot get 3, I cannot get 7. Like that 2, I cannot get 7. Like by mixing 1, 7 times I will get it, and 7 directly I will get a 7. Therefore 7 has only 1 as a factor and 7 itself as a factor. Like that, if I check 8, then 8 has a factors like 1 and 2 and 4 and 8. Therefore 8 is not a prime number. 8 can be obtained by mixing 2s, by mixing 4s, by mixing 8, by mixing 1s. Therefore 8 is not a prime number. Prime, you got the meaning of prime? Now prime means you should listen by 1 or otherwise 7. Means you should that get the mixtures of 1s or 7s. Like that. Can you name, just a homework, can you name the prime numbers? Take a comment box here. From 0 to, start from whole numbers from means 0, and can you name a prime number till 100? I will tell you 25 prime numbers are there between 0 to 100. Start writing. I'll just help you that 2 is a prime number, 3 is a prime number, 5 is a prime number, 7 is a prime number, not 9, 11 is a prime number. Like that. Go ahead with the 100.
13, 17, 19, 23,
19,
29,
23.
31,
So 37,
37, 41, 43,
so 47, then 50,
Very good.
29, 31, 35, 41, 43, 47, 53, 59, 61,
51,
and
67,
7,
71,
71, 73,
77,
79,
79,
77 will not come. 77, someone
So
told.
70.
77 is not.
79,
Okay, right.
83, 89, 97.
Very good. Okay. See here, in examination, they don't ask like this question. This question they don't ask. Write all the prime numbers from 0 to 100, 0 to 10, 0 to 20. Like that, they don't ask. They will ask this question. See, what percent of numbers between 0 to 100 are prime numbers? What percent of numbers between 0 to 100 are prime numbers? Then you should know this, whatever are the homework this work I gave you. This, if you count all these prime numbers, you got 25. And out of 100, 25 numbers are prime numbers. Therefore, 25% of numbers are prime numbers in what? 0 to 100. Now, quickly you just tell me the answer. what percent of numbers are prime numbers between 0 to 10? 0 to
Sir,
10.
4%.
0.04.
40%.
40%. 40%. One more thing, one more very important thing. 0 and 1, they are not prime numbers. They are even composite numbers. I didn't explain to you the meaning of composite numbers. I will explain later. This 0 and 1, they are not prime numbers. Why? Because the prime number definition is its factor should be 1 and itself should be something different. But in case of 0, that 0 cannot be made some factors like 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. 0 is a 0 only. He is like a god. Okay, he himself. Okay, then 1 is also like a god. He himself. Factor is also himself, and he himself is there. Therefore, he is not prime numbers. He is more than prime numbers, you can call. Prime minister is there, more than prime minister, you can call 0 and 1. Okay, therefore 0 and 1 will not come into picture. But this 2 is there, no? This is a very beautiful number here. The only even number in prime number. That all the prime numbers are odd numbers except 2. Except 2. Okay, now you come to know that how they can derive the how they can frame the question and ask this in the prime number. Now coming to this composite number, rest all prime numbers, whatever the numbers left, they are all composite number. For example, 8 is a composite number. Composite means what? Mixing, no? Therefore 1, 2, 4, 8, this is a composite number, because 1 is there and itself is there, and between some numbers are there. Therefore, this is a composite number. Understood? Now, how to find the big number, whether it is prime number or not? For example, 1978, whether this is prime number or not, how to find it? For this, you should know divisibility criterias. They are called as divisibility criterias. That I will explain in this class only, but later. Okay, to find the prime number, whether that number is prime or not, if it's a number is a big number, then we should know divisibility criteria. One more thing. There are many criteria, there are many methods are there to find out the prime number. But don't worry about them. They are all very lengthy. If you know divisibility criteria, then you can identify the number is prime or not. 1978. Here it is a even number. That directly you can say that it is a composite number. But if I give you 1977, then this 1977, I don't know whether it is prime number or not. Therefore, I should know divisibility criteria. Okay, now that we will discuss in the later class, later time, after later slides. Now coming to this composite number, you come to know, right? Now coming to co-prime numbers, very, very, very important topic it is. Direct question may not come from this topic, but this topic means to solve many problems in for the future coming topics, you should know the meaning of co-prime numbers. Co-prime numbers. See here, this I will give an example, 8 and a 5. If I start writing the factors of 8, what comes? 1 is a factor, 2 is a factor, 4 is a factor, and 8 is a factor. The same way, if I start writing factors for 5, then 1 is a factor, and then 5 is a factor. Right? See, just concentrate on these two words, on these two numbers. If you can see, there is only 1 is a common between them. Only 1 is a common number. Then 8, 5 are co-prime numbers. They are called as co-prime numbers. Means the definition says that any two or more numbers, any two or more than two numbers, if they have common factor as only 1, they should have a common factor as only 1. For example, I will give you 7 and 9. 7 and 9. 7 common factors are, factors are 1 and 7, and for 9, factors are 1, 3, 9. But here only 1 is common between them. Therefore, 7, 9 together we can call them as a prime numbers, the co-prime numbers. Now, if I give an example of 8 and 24, 8's factor is 1, 2, 4, 8, and 24's factor is 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5, no, 6, 8, 12, 24. Now, if you see here, there are many things which are common. 1 is common between them, 2 is common, 4 is also common, 8 is also common. Therefore, these two numbers together we can call them as a co-prime numbers. They are not co-prime numbers. Any doubts in prime numbers, co-prime numbers, and composite numbers? Or can you make any standard definition, standard conclusion, whatever we studied till now? No? Yes, we'll go ahead. Okay. Now, prime factorization. Prime factorization. Before that, I will give you one interesting thing about our that money system in the financial system in India or otherwise in any country. See here, we have 1 rupee coin and 2 rupee coin, and after that we have a 5 rupee coin, and then 10 rupees that paper note, and after that 20 rupees we have, and 50 rupees we have, and after that 100 rupees and 200 rupees, now 500 rupees, 1000 rupees. Actually it was there, but it is removed and we got 2000 rupees. And in future, if they want to increase, what number they will give? Just if you see the series, they are very interesting. 1, 2, 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500, 1000, 2000, 5000. If you anyone ask you to the higher denomination which you would suggest, means you should suggest 5000. Then in 10,000, in 10,000 multiples if you want, then it should be 10,000 paper note and 20,000 paper note, and it should be a 50,000 paper note. There shall not be any number, any note between 2, 1 and 3. That is a 3 note, we do 3 rupees coin we don't have, 4 rupee coin we don't have. Means by mixing these numbers we are deriving the required amount. The required amount we are deriving this one. Then why this government choose these numbers 1, 2, 10, 20, 1 to 5, 10, 20, 50, 100, 200, 500. Who suggested this? Narendra Modi cancel this 1000 rupees note and make a 2000 rupees note? Why not 3000 rupees note? Who suggested this one? Obviously, a person who knows statics very well. It is not a random game. The one who knows statics very well, he suggested that 2000 rupees note we need to make, not 3000 rupees. Why? Because if you make notes with these numbers, then the money will be circulated very easily. Why I am teaching all these things here in the aptitude? The same way prime factorization is there here. In the same way, but here 1 to 5, 10, 20, 50 and money, this money circulation there, addition is there, but in prime factorization, multiplication is there. In this plus, we are getting any number. For example, I want 1250 rupees. Then I can mix some of the 2 rupees, some of the 5 rupees, some of the 10 rupees, some of the 200 rupees, some of the 500 rupees. Then I can mix these all things and I can derive 1250 rupees. Like that, can I derive 1250 rupees only by using prime numbers? See, these prime numbers are very dangerous numbers. They are not allowing themselves to factorize, but they can act as a factors of any number in this universe. They are not themselves making factorization, means they are not themselves cutting into separate pieces. That rigid they are prime numbers, but by using prime numbers, we can derive any number in this universe. That teaches your prime factorization. That is your prime factorization. Any doubts here? Do you have any doubts in prime factorization? Now we will understand how to do this prime factorization. How to get that any number into prime numbers. Okay, that we will see. See here, one number is there, 1370 and 1260. First, I will take a small number. This is a 84. Then, what is the least possible prime number that this 84 can be divided by that? That is a 2. Then, with the 2, if I divide it, then it becomes a 40 and 2, 42. Then again, you divide it by a prime number. Only prime number you need to concentrate. 2 is a prime number. Therefore, it will be 21. Then again, it will not go with the 2. Therefore, I will check with the 3. Then 3 it goes. 3 sevens are over. Now, this 84, I can get it, or otherwise I can obtain this one by multiplying 2, 2, 3 and 7. See, this 84 is not a prime number, but this number can be obtained by multiplying few prime numbers. This is called as prime factorization. Like this, not only 84, take any number in this universe, in this sets, that is a system, and you can try that one to express in terms of prime number. That is the beauty of this prime numbers or prime factorization. Can you try this one, 1260? Can you try this 1260 and can you write this 1260 in terms of prime numbers? And tell me the answer. Start with the minimum prime numbers. You should not start with the 10. If you do by 10, it will be 1 to 6. And after that, you can go by 2 like that. But 10 is not a prime number. Avoid this one. Therefore, 1260 you take and start with the 2 or 3 or 5 like that. Try it and tell.
So 2 into 2 into 5 into 3 into 3.
Into one more is there.
So,
Into 7.
Yes,
so 2
very
into 2
good.
into 3
Hmm.
into 3 into 5 into 7.
Very good. Very good. See, 1260 was a big number. We got 2 into 2 into 3 into 3 into 5 into 7. See, all these numbers are prime numbers only. But by these prime numbers, I am making one composite number. Therefore, they are called as prime number, prime ministers. Right? Now, we'll go to the next concept. Then what is the use of making this prime factorization? That is this type of questions you will see often in competitive exams. What is the smallest possible ratio of the term 2850 and 3150? If you cross this one with some numbers, then what is the smallest possible number you will get it? How to do this one? You don't have any calci in your examinations. You will not be given calculator, right? Then how to do this one? This will be done by prime factorization. Do it. What are the prime factorization of 2850 and what are the prime factorization of 3150? First, don't worry about the smallest fraction or something like that. Just work out for the prime factorization. If I solve this problem, then first I will take a 2850. I will work with the 2. Then it will be 1, 4, 25. Then I will work with the again 3.
475.
475.
19 and 21.
470.
Option B 19 and
475.
21.
Option is 19 and 21 is absolutely right. Okay, just we are working out about this problem. That is 470. How much you told?
475, sir.
475. Okay, and this you got 475. Then I will work with the 5. Then it will be 47, 8,
5 into 95.
95. Then I will work
95.
with the 5. Then 5 means 19.
19.
Over. This is over. Means at the numerator I can write 2 into 3 into 5 into 5 into
2 into
9.
3 into 5 into 5 into 19.
Like that. Like that, if I work for 3150, I will get 2 into 3 into 3 into 5 into 5 into 7. Then here I will just cross these things. 2 2 gone, 3 3 gone, and these two 5s gone. Then in the numerator 19 is left, and in the denominator 7 into 3 21 is left. Therefore the answer is 19 by 21. See how easy it is if you know prime factorization. And the same, someone, will you mute that one? Your audio, Divya. Okay. Next, how many prime factors does the number 1095 contain? It's a very easy number. Just you start dividing this one and you will get the answer. Do you have any doubts? No doubt. We'll go and understand what is the value of digit in a number. See here, I have a 1256 is a one number, and in this number, each digit will have their own value. Those values we will call them as a face value or actual value, and the second one is a place value or local value. I'll take an example of this only, 1256. Okay, this understanding this face value is like a something like a foolishness. Okay, because we know that face value of 6 is 6, face value of 5 is 5, face value of 2 is 2, face value of 1 is 1. What you see by seeing 6, that you need to tell. By seeing 6, what you can see that one, 6 only. Therefore, the face, it is a face, 6 value, the face. And the place value is something different. This is 6 is a place value. Its place is a unit place. And this 50, this 5 is in the 10th place. Therefore, what is the place value of 5? Place value of 5 is 50. Like that. What is the place value of 2? Place value of 2 is 200. Like that. What is the place value of 1? Place value of 1 is 1000. Like that, if you add all the place value of 1, 2, 5, 6, then you will get a 1256. This is a 1256. You will get it. Okay. Place value of 1 is 1000. Place value of 2 is 200. Place value of 5 is 50. Place value of the 6 is 6. Therefore, the total answer is 1256. Right? This is very easy to understand. But the questions you need to think, you need to check how they will ask the question. See, this is a question they are asking. What is the difference between local value? Local value means what? Come back. Here, place value is called as local value. Therefore, what is the difference between local value and face value of 6 in the number 456175? See, this question they are asking. They give one number 456175. They are asking what is the difference between local value and face value. Then you should know the meaning of difference. The meaning of difference is minus. Addition, add means plus. Difference means minus. Difference means minus. Then product means multiplication. Ratio means division. Therefore, here they are asking about difference. Therefore, what is the difference of local value and face value of 6? Then local value of 6 is 6000 and place value of 6 is 6. Therefore, the answer is 5994. Therefore, this is the correct answer. Over. When you know the difference, this one, then only you can do it. The same thing in the place of difference. If they call addition, what is the sum between local value and face value? Then 6000 plus 6. 6000 plus 6. What is the ratio they can ask? What is the product they can ask? Like that. Okay. Is there any doubt till now? Just I will take a 10 minutes or 10 10 to 15 minutes over. If you don't have any doubts, we'll go ahead. Sure.
No doubt, sir.
Yes. Test for divisibility. This is very interesting. And if you know this test for divisibility, then just I explained about 54 chapters I explained in the first while introducing the aptitude. There about 10 to 15 chapters are reasoning chapters. There this mathematics is not required. But wherever the mathematics is required, there this test for divisibility, this chapter helps a lot. Okay, it's something a magic. The many people worked on this one, and after that they got a conclusion, and that conclusions I am drawing here. Then how to check a divisibility by 1, divisible by 1? This number 1276, whether this number is divisible by 1 or not. Therefore, the common statement I can make here is that all the numbers in this universe are divisible by 1. All the numbers in this universe, in this set, in the whole set, are divisible by 1. Therefore, 1 is a factor of all the numbers. 1 is a factor of all the numbers. Okay. Therefore, one more thing you should understand. What is the meaning of divisibility means? When I divide some number, then I should get an integer. Then that is called as a divisibility check. 50 is there. If I divide this 50 by 5, then I will get what? 10 I am getting. This 10 is integer. This 10 is integer. Then only the 50 is divisible by 5, I can say. But nowadays mathematics is not like that. Mathematics, you can say that 3 by 2. Whether this 3 is divisible by 2, mathematics says yes. Why? Because the answer comes 1.5. But I should not get this fraction. Therefore, the conclusion is that whenever you check a divisibility for the particular number with some other number, then you should get an integer. Then only I can say that this is divisible by this. Understood? Now, 1 is a universally divisibility that it can divisible all the numbers. Therefore, no need to conclude. Then divisibility by 2. Very easy. If the number is even, then it is divisible by 2. If the number is odd, then it is divisible by, not divisible by 2. For example, 35 is not divisible by 2. By seeing only I can tell because it is an odd number. Like that, 38 is divisible by 2. Why? Because this is the even number. Over. Divisible by 2 is very easy. Then coming to divisible by 3. Now I will give you 123. Whether it is divisible by 3? To check that. To check that.
Yes, sir.
Yes. For that, there is one rule. There is one rule. That rule says that separate all the digits. Make them free. Here they are intact. They are called as 123. Separate them. And individually add them. 1 plus 2 plus 3. Then what is the sum? Sum will be 6. Now check whether this person, this 6 is divisible by 6, they are divisible by 3. If the answer is yes, then this number is divisible by 3. Like that, can you check this 84? Whether this 84 divisible by 3? We'll do it. 8 plus 4 is 12. Therefore, 12 is divisible by 3. Therefore, 84 is divisible by 3. Okay, now like that, whatever the number, you can take your phone number. I have a phone number that my number is 888-456-1762. This entire big number, whether this number is divisible by 3 or not, then I should add all of them. 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6 plus 1 plus 7 plus 6 plus 2. Then check with the 3. By adding all of them, if I get a 1786, then again, this I cannot check it. Then again you add it. 1 plus 7 plus 8 plus 6. Then again you will get a small number. Check it. If again you are not able to check, then again add the digits. Bring a small digit. Then also you can check. Here 1, 2 is there. By adding them you are getting 3. Therefore 3 is divisible by 3. Therefore it is over. Right on. Means divisibility by 3. The common statement is the sum of the digits of the number is divisible by 3, then the whole number is divisible by 3. This is the definition for check for divisibility by 3. Coming to divisibility by 4. Divisibility by 4 is, let us consider I have one big number like this. Whatever the number, it might be this one. A very big number is there. In this big number, just I need to concentrate 2 numbers at the end. These 2 numbers. If these two numbers are divisible by 4, then the entire number is divisible by 4. This entire number is divisible by 4. See how beautiful this rule is. See, my number is 888, 456, 1762. Now I need to concentrate only on 62. Whether this 62 exists in the fourth table, that I need to check. We'll check. 4 2 divided by 4. 4 1 ja, 4 1 ja, 2 24, 4 8 ja. No, 4 6 ja. 4 6 ja. Then 62 is divisible by 4. Therefore, my entire number is divisible by 4. See how beautifully that rule is made. Right? This is divisible by 4. Now coming to divisible by 5. This is the common sense. A small kid can also answer this one. What? This, if it is a number, then the last number should be either 0 or
5.
5. Over. Just concentrate on the last number. If it is 0 or 5, then it is divisible by 5. Now the second is divisible by 6. Very important. Now for this I need to do two homework. That is, one is divisibility by 2 I need to check, and divisibility by 3 I need to check. If any particular number, this 4-digit number, if this number is divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, not or, divisible by 2 and divisible by 3, then that number will be divisible by 6. Okay, can you tell this one? 1786, is it divisible by 6? For that, very easily I can do like this is divisible by 2. Why? Because last number is 6. This number is an even number. Therefore, this is divisible by 2. This condition is satisfied. Then coming to 3, then I will add all of them. 7 plus 8, 15, 15 plus 6, 21, and this is 22. The answer comes 22. 22 is not divisible by 3. Therefore, 1786 is not divisible by 6. 1786 is not divisible by 6. Okay, this is how we check divisibility by 6. Coming to divisibility by 7, somewhat very interesting it is. Divisibility by 7. Say for example, I will check a divisibility by 123. Whether this 123 is divisible by 7 or not. For that, carefully be here only. Look at here. The last digit you separate it. Bring it. 3. And other digits, remaining last digits, other digits you put it here. And this last digit you double it. It becomes 6. And that 6 you deduct from here. Then the answer is what? 6. Then whether this 6 is divisible by 7? No. Therefore, 123 is not divisible by 7. Will you do one more? Take this number and check it. 343. Whether this 343 is divisible by 7? Check it. I have to do like this. 34 minus this last digit is 3. 3
Yes,
into
it
2.
is divisible.
Yes, 34 minus
No,
6
sir.
is no 28 I am getting now here. This 28 is divisible by 7. 7 1 ja, 7 4 ja. Therefore, 343 is divisible by 7. Okay, the rules are very strict. If you do some mistake, then you may get wrong answers, but rules never become wrong. Then check it. 2401. 2401. Check it. Divisibility by 7. (240 minus 2). Then this is 238. Now again I don't know 238 whether it go divisible by 7 or not. Therefore again I play the same rule. 23 minus 8 into 2 is a 16. Then 23 minus 16 is
So do
7. 2, it is because 1 is there here, and 1 into 2 is a 2. Because here the rule is what? The last digit you need to double and subtract from the remaining number. The last digit I doubled and that is subtracted from this. Therefore, I got 23. 23 minus 6 is 16 because this last digit is 8 and double is 16. 23 minus 16 is 7, right? Then
Yes,
7
sir.
is
It is
divisible by
divisible by
7.
7.
Therefore, 2401 is divisible by 7. Then coming to 8, this is a family. See here, 2, 4, 8. Sixteen, just
Hello.
hello,
Hello.
hello, sir. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir, Rajshekar, sir.
Sir, here in my desktop, that connection is gone.
Okay.
Wait, sir, it came, I think. It came, sir, just 2 minutes, sir. 1 minute.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Students, please wait. Due to some technical problems, sir will be back again. Okay.
Can you see the slide now? Can you see the slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can see the slides. Sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, here, divisibility by 2, I will explain again. Let us consider these many digits, one big number is there here. And to check the divisibility by 2, the last number should be divisible by 2. To check the divisibility by 4, the last two numbers should be divisible by 4. To check the divisibility by 8, last three numbers should be divisible by 8. To check the divisibility by 16, then last 4 digits should be divisible by 16. Like that it goes. This series goes like this. Okay, now this is what divisibility by 8 means. Last 3 digit divisible by 8 means the entire number is divisible by 8. Coming to 9. This 9 family and 3 family is same. 3. What is the rules for 3 divisibility by 3? That is sum of all digits divisible by 3 is then the whole number is divisible by 3. The same way 9. The 9 rule is also the sum of all digits in the number divisible by 9, then the entire number is divisible by 9. For example, 49. This ninth table only you take 9, 18, 27, next 36, 54, 45, right after 54. See, 819, 279, like that. 999, yes, 9 plus 9 plus 9, 27, 27, 9 plus 2, 9. Therefore, 999 is divisible by 9. Okay, what about this 1999? 1999, 9 plus 9 plus 9, 27 plus 1, 28. Then 28, 8 plus 1, 8 plus 2, 10. 10, 1 plus 0, 1. 1 is not divisible by 9, therefore gone. This 1999 is not divisible by 9. Okay. Now divisible by 10. This again a small kid can tell. That is a small last digit. If it is 0, then the entire number is divisible by 0. And this 10. Divisible by 11. Very important. I'll take my phone number. 888 456 1762. Whether this entire number is divisible by 11 or not, this is a very big number. For that, the rule is you just sum the alternative numbers. This 8 and this 8, this 5, this 1 and this 6. These numbers, separate them and add them. 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 1 plus 6. Then minus. Then remaining numbers. Remaining number is 8 plus 4 plus 6 plus 6 plus 7 plus 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I will check this number, how much it comes. That is 8 plus 8 plus 5 plus 1 plus 6 is 28 I am getting here. 28 I am getting here minus. Then here 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 6, 18, 18 plus 7, 25, 25 plus 2, 27 I got. Then the answer 28 minus 27 is 1. This 1 is not divisible by 11. Therefore, the answer is this entire number is not divisible by 11. Then in examination, they will ask the question like this. They give this big number and after that they will ask you to make this number divisible by 11. Then what should be the last unit digit? This unit digit place, what number should be there? Then just you think here, if 28 is here means if I make this 28, then the answer will be 0. This 0 is divisible by 11. Yes, this 0 is divisible by 11. Therefore, if I want to make this second set 28, then one number should be added. If this number is 3, or otherwise in my phone number, the last number, if it is the 3, then I can say that the entire number is divisible by 11. Then they can ask any number, not only last number. If the first number, what should be the first number to make this divisible by that? Then you should tell that by working like that. Okay. Then here it was earlier, it is a 28 minus 27. Then this, if it is a 27, then 27 minus 27, it comes 0. Therefore, it should be 27 means my first number should start from 7. If it is first start from 7, 8, 7, 8, 8, 4, 5, 6, 1, 7, 6, 2, then I would have this, it would have divided by 11. That way I need to check for 11. Then the 12. Here onwards, from 12 onwards, your cofactor is there, no? That you should be very perfect with the cofactor, co-prime numbers, sorry, co-prime numbers. This 12, you need to factorize that by using two co-prime numbers. For example, how you can get a 12? You can get 1 into 12 as a 12.
4 into 3.
And the second one is 3 into 4, I will get a 12. And 6 into 2, I will get a 12.
6 into 2.
Like that, 12 into 1, I will get a 12.
12
Right?
into 1.
Okay. Na? Here, just see here, 12 and 1, they are not co-prime numbers. Because this is 12 and 1 is a co-prime numbers. Yes, these are co-prime numbers. But divisibility by 12 only I am checking. Therefore, it is foolishness to consider this combination. And the same way, this combination also it is foolishness to consider. Then coming to here, 6 and 2. These two are not co-prime numbers. Therefore, we need to avoid this combination. Come with the 3 and 4. Then, to check the divisibility by 12, then you should check first divisible by 4 and check later divisible by 3. If both satisfy, then the given number is divisible by 12. If both satisfy, then only. Okay, now this is what divisible by 12. Now the question I am going to ask, how to check divisibility by 80? Give me the answer. How to check divisibility by 80? For that, I need to make a combinations. The combinations are like this. 2 into 40 is the one combination. 4 into 20 is another combination. 5 into 16. 16 is another combination. Then over. Repeating combinations will come, I think. 1 into 80 is avoidable. 80 into 1 is avoidable. We can avoid it. Then these combinations I will get.
8 into 10.
8 into 10. Very good. 8 into 10 is another combination. Write down these combinations I will get. Out of them, just check it. 2 and 40 are not co-prime numbers. 4 and 20 are not co-prime numbers. 8 and 10 are not co-prime numbers. Then 5 and 16 are co-prime numbers. Because 5 factors are 1 and 5, and 16 factors are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. But here the common is only 1, then these two are satisfying the rule of co-prime numbers. Therefore, to check the divisibility of 80, then the number should be divisible by both 5 and 16. Understood? This way, the composite numbers in future coming, that big numbers, you can check the divisibility, divisibility criteria. To this problem, last two problems only are there. After that, we can finish it. See, the problem is 5, 2, x, 2, 4, 3. If it is divisible by 3, what should be the minimum number in place of x?
So 2.
2. Correct answer. See here, they are asking divisibility check for 3. That answer is we need to add all of them, and sum should be divided by 3. First, I will ignore this x and I will add 5 plus 2 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3. Then the sum is 16. Correct? 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. 9 plus 7 is a 16. Then 16 is not, of course, this is not a complete workout. Because still I ignored x. If I add that x here, then the answer should be divisible by 3. The answer should be divisible by 3. Then what is the minimum possible number I can put here means, if I put 2 here, then it become 18. When this become 18, then this is divisible by 3. Therefore, the answer in the place of x is 2. Then where x is a minimum number. Then if they ask what is the maximum number in x? Maximum single number in x?
Eight, sir. Yes, sir.
8. Very good. This is a grammatical mistake. It's not minimum, a small number. Okay. And not maximum number. It's a big number. Okay. Here, a 16 plus 8. Then it is how much? 24. Then 24 it is coming. It is divisible by 3. Then the maximum number, this biggest number is what? 8 I can put here. And in between even you can work out for 2 also. You can work out for 5 also, then 8. These three numbers, any one number if you substitute here, then the entire number is divisible by 3. That is of course, but the question you need to read carefully. They are asking small number or big number. Then this number is very interesting. This question is very interesting. If x and y are 2 digits of the number 513xy, such that the number is divisible by 40. Then what is x plus y? Some more tricky question it is.
Sir, 1.
1 in the option, it is not there, I think. Okay, let me explain. See here, this 40 is there. First, I need to get the prime factorization, this one, cofactors of 40. The 2 into 20 will not work out. Then I will get 3 will not, 4. 4 into 10 is also not prime numbers. Then I will take a 5. 5 into 8. 8 into 5. These two numbers are co-prime numbers. Means I need to check this one with respect to 8 and 5. With respect to 8 and 5. See here, I need to make some analysis here. The last number should be either 5 or 0. Either 5 or 0. Okay. If I substitute last digit as a 5, then the first rule is violating. If I substitute 0 in the last place, then the second rule and first rule both will be satisfying. Means this number will be something like 513-0. The last number is 0 means, of course, it may divisible by 8 and it may divisible by 5 also. Therefore, the last number I will put it as 0. Then I got a y value 0. Is that clear? Then after that, I will come to this one. However, I have 4 options. I go on substituting this and I will compare. For divisibility by 8, because divisible by 5 it is worked out. Because last number is 0, therefore divisible by 5 is over. Then divisible by 8 means what? I need to take last 3 digits. Then 3-0. What number if I substitute here, it is divisible by 8. This 0 is there, just you can ignore it in your common sense. Then 8 is there in the 8 table. 8, 16, 24 and 32 comes. 32 comes. If I take this 32 and substitute here 2, just by using some common sense, then 320 it comes. Whether this 320 is divisible by 8? Of course. 8 1 ja, 8 4 ja, 0. 8 40 is 1. Means it is 320 is divisible by 8. Means in this place, if I substitute 2, then this entire number is divisible by 40. Then what is x plus y? They are asking. 2 plus 0 is a 2 plus 0 is a 2. Therefore, the answer is C.
C.
Any doubts? Yes. Now, in this today's class, I think we discussed many that different headings, because they are very small, and if you brush up the that primary things, primary school level, then you can understand the concepts here. Like that, the last problem what I explained here, this is somewhat a higher level. Therefore, in every chapter, that 48 chapters I gave you in the numerical aptitude, in this 48 chapters, all chapters will have a different levels. L1 level, very easy, and L2 level, a little tough. And when you come to the CAT and MAT exam, in the same divisibility chapter only, in this divisibility chapter only, they can ask L5 level questions. Means very tough questions they can ask. And in prime number only, you might be thinking that prime number chapter is very easy, or number system chapter is very easy, but there also they can frame L5 questions. Percentage is there. What is the, if a 4 marks I score out of 10, then what is the answer? Then the 40% is my answer. Then this will be the L1 question in a percentage chapter. But in the percentage chapter, you can get L5 questions also, level 5 questions also. Therefore, you should not ignore any chapter from the numerical aptitude. Hope in the coming classes, you will be introduced. I can use only this word only. You will be introduced to some of the chapters, and to make expertise in the particular chapter, you need to work hard, you need to ask doubts, and that you should do. Okay, thank you very much. If you have any doubts, anything regarding aptitude or otherwise these topics, you can many times I shared my phone number in the problems itself. Therefore, you can take that phone number and WhatsApp it, or otherwise contact directly. Okay, thank you very much. If anything you want to share, you can share. Otherwise, we'll end the session by taking a permission from Ravi Prakash sir.
Yes, sir. Students, any doubts you can ask, or anything you want to share with sir or any of us? Yes, students. Anyone? Anything? Okay, sir. I hope they don't have anything to share, or they don't have any doubts. Sir, the class was very nice, and the basics that you have
Yes,
touched
sir. Yes,
upon is very good, sir. Because most of the things we have learned, but we might have forgot them. But here it was a good brusher
yes, sir.
for us, where it can be taken to the next
Yes,
levels, like you told, like up to L5 or L6, basically. So whatever we covered
yes,
was
yes,
basically
sir.
around L1 and L2 level, I guess.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So students, you can further take it to the higher level by solving more sums. First, get acquainted, as well as get a good grip on the lower level problems, that is L1 and the basics. Then you can move ahead. If any issues or any problems, you can contact Rajshekar sir, or even me for that matter. So we'll try to solve your problems. Thank you very much, sir. So we'll like to end the call.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.